Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, CEO Hairspiration. It's your girl, Miss Mary, and I'm back at you guys with another very important video. Today, we are going to talk about how we were born into slavery from the first day that we were born, you guys. Being a United States citizen may seem like the American dream, but I'm here to tell you that all of us have been born into slavery. And today I'm going to break down the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendment and how all of that, our Constitution, ties into our bondage and literally us as slaves. And the reason why cops keep killing blacks, okay? So the first thing that I want to break down is how everything started. When I talk about the history today, this is really man's version of what they created for our reality. That's what history is. So basically everything that we've been taught from kindergarten through 12th grade has all been a total lie. And really our educational system is pure indoctrination where they just teach us things that we literally forget by the time we graduate high school, you guys. So today we're gonna break down history a little bit. I'm gonna be looking down at my notes, so guys, please bear with me as I share this important information with you because it's going to be very insightful for what we are dealing with today in 2020 with the police brutality and why us as black people just can't seem to be treated fairly or equally because as our Constitution states, we are unequal. So let me break this down to you. The real reason why cops keep killing blacks and how we all are born into slavery. Before the United States was founded, you guys, the states were colonies of the British Empire. They were called British colonies, meaning the King of Parliament of Great Britain ruled the colonies, okay? So first, the United States was ruled by Great Britain, okay? It was ruled by Scottish Rites Freemasons. Yes, all governors, all presidents, anybody who works for the Congress, mostly all of them, they're all Freemasons. So our founding fathers are also Freemasons. So on July 4th, 1776, a committee of 5, which were composed of these 5 gentlemen, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert Livingston. They drafted and presented the Continental Congress, which is before our Constitution came along. They drafted that and they presented it known as Independence Day. So basically when they drafted that, that was their first, creation of our Constitution. The Founding Fathers were a group of skull and bones Freemasons. I want to point that out because the British colonies that were once ran by Great Britain, those were Scottish Rite Freemasons. The Founding Fathers of the United States Constitution were skull and bones Freemasons. Okay, so the secret societies, they are all tied together, but there are different ones that have their own rules, they have their own things. So basically, when the Founding Fathers decided that they were going to take control of the United States, they created their own new set of rules. The Founding Fathers were a group of skull and bones Freemasons who united the 13 colonies, and they led themselves to independence. They didn't want to be under the rule of Great Britain anymore. So they established a new framework for the new United States of America. The new United States of America, okay? So there's been many changes, all right? Nearly 100 years later, okay, so 95 years later, and I want to point out the fact that it takes 100 years to brainwash a generation, okay? So it's not a coincidence that 100 years later, the United States became an actual corporation in the year of 1871, which was created for the District of Columbia, aka Washington, D.C., which is not even a state. Okay, Washington, D.C. is in the state of Maryland, okay? And the purpose of this act was to provide the U.S. corporation to operate under international law with their own constitution, okay? This is where our government came in. This act was to provide a government or an agency governing the body of a nation, state, or community. to control the mindset of the people, okay? The whole purpose of creating the government was to control the mind state and literally the body of the community, a nation, or all people, okay? The purpose of creating the government. So the United States is a corporation, and that is why we are taxed. We are considered literally property of the state, okay? I want to go back to before the corporation was created. Slavery was abolished. Supposedly, slavery was abolished. Now, this is where we're going to get into these amendments and how we were tricked and bamboozled. See, they had to brainwash us over those 100 years, you guys. What I'm telling you is this. They've created a world system. The system that we always talk about is out there to destroy us, and that the world system is just corrupt. I'm breaking it down for you right now, letting you know how they went about building the Constitution and the United States Corporation, and how they created the amendments for us to be born literally into slavery. As soon as the day that you're born and you sign your birth certificate, our parents signed our birth certificate. That made us literally a citizen under the United States Constitution. Literally, our power was stripped from us from the day that we were born, and we immediately went from a sovereign, free being. The date that our birth certificate is signed, the date that we fill out for our social security number, that is our toe tag, our tag stating that, yes, we are now officially a property of the state. And I'm going to tell you how exactly they did it and why. So before the corporation was created, slavery was supposedly abolished on January 31st, 1865. And the 13th Amendment was created to abolish slavery in the United States and provides that. So now I'm going to break this down. The 13th Amendment states, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, okay, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction, okay? With that being said, what the 13th Amendment did when they supposedly abolished slavery, they simply went from stating that our people are slaves, black people, black men. They went from classifying us as slaves, and instead of a slave, they classified us as criminals, okay? Black men are targeted, okay? And they are considered and characterized as criminals, okay? So, except as a punishment for crime. So if you do a crime, then that's when you go back into being a slave, because when you go to jail, you're working for basically no wages, you guys. So you really need to watch the movie 13th, because it goes really deep into really behind the scenes of incarceration. So I want to move on and say that, yes, this is a trick. This was a major trick that they had. Now, from the 13th Amendment, I'm going to go on, we are being lied to, okay? So the 14th Amendment, okay, which was also put into place 1789. Okay, it says, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. Okay? Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, property, without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Okay? So supposedly the 14th Amendment gives us equal protection of the laws, which we know that is false, okay? We know that's not true. They're saying that every person born or naturalized in the United States is subject under the United States Constitution. You are now a citizen under the state where you live. The purpose of me breaking this down is because before they put the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment in place. Black men, black women and men were considered 3/5 of a human being. The 3/5 clause states that for every 5 black men would be equal to 3 white men. So you need twice as many black slaves to be counted as an actual citizen of the United States to be considered a white man. Why is that? How is that equal? Okay, so they stopped that, and instead they abolished slavery, put in place the 13th Amendment, and said, hey, nobody can be a slave unless you commit a crime. And that's where they still were able to trap the black man into the 3/5 clause by labeling, by creating the black man as a criminal. Okay, they've been doing this as long as time will tell. They've been labeling our black men as criminals, thugs, okay? Making us out to be animals with false notions of who we are through television, through music, through the entertainment industry. So don't think it's just starting now, you know, in this century that we're in. This has been going on for a very long time. So at the end of the day, slavery never ended. When they created our Constitution, all they did was rewrite some things, change up a few words, and actually enslaved us more. Mental slavery, okay?